Went to the Copperhead, a loud little chatterbait. See stuff moving around and popping. There's one. What's happening, fishing friends? Welcome to another episode. As you can see, we're out on the water doing some testing. It's going to be of this. This is the first gen Copperhead, and this is an interesting little different spin or a different take on the chatterbait. As you can see on the nose of it there, first gen has put 2 BBs on their vibrating jig to make a different sound, and it's very clear that it does make a different sound and vibration, but it makes me wonder and think, how much do lure changes matter, you know, from one vibrating jig, you know, just even in this category, you've got things like, you know, the regular jackhammer, you've got things like the thunder cricket, there's all kinds of different bladed jigs out there. Color, size, vibration, sound, how much does all that matter? Well, let's talk about that more in the end. Let's get out on the water. There's one. All right. Dirty water. Went to the Copperhead, a loud little chatterbait. Oh, played him too much and he just come off. Son of a biscuit. Well, that's what I was throwing, the Copperhead. He came off right there as I tried to turn him. That was stupid of me. Nice, Debo, real nice. First fish of the night, and he gone. Trying to turn him in here to pick him up because I do not have much room to work here at all. So I was gonna try to turn, there's another one. Oh, there's some good wood out here. I like this Copperhead because it stays up above it. Almost let that one jump off too. About the same size as that other dude. Well, £1.5 or £1.25, something like that. Dude, he is charged. There we go. Get a good hand on him. There we go. First one of the night. Little £1.25, maybe £1.5. Dirty, muddy water. So I went to a louder chatterbait. I threw the buzzbait over it. Walked a popper over it. They didn't want anything to do with that. Subsurface, first 2 casts, 2 fish. Okay, well, find wood. Throw chatterblade around wood. Like I said, this is the first gen Copperhead, and this one is actually really good at running shallow. It tends to kind of scoot up. You can bend the blade a little bit more and get it to go down, but I like this one. It tends to ride up over stuff. If you're coming up to a log, you go a little faster. It'll kind of jump up over it. And it's got a good hunting action. As you give it faster, slow pause, or give it kind of a twitch, it'll kind of hunt and dart for you. So with the extra sound that this makes, it's got a blade where it clicks on some BBs. Now I don't know how much of a difference that truly makes. Anything to help in this water. This is deer tay. I mean, I can only see that lure right about there. Maybe just under a foot, 10 inches, something like that. Which I don't mind fishing water like this. Find cover, you can usually find them shallower in the real dirty, muddy water. A lot of times they'll tend to go shallower than other spots. Here's a piece of wood I'm coming up over now. I'm gonna speed it up. Comes right over it. Oh gosh, I'm standing on a little ledge here and I tried to walk out in it. I wore my boots and the ledge is far higher than my boots. So that's not happening. Trying to stay on this little muddy ledge and not go in. I'm sure you all would like that. I would not like to partake in jumping in the old lake. I would like to partake in catching some more fish around this wood though. See stuff moving around and popping. Oh, right there. Oh, right there off this little piece of log that was hanging. Wow. Okay, well, I think we found the bait. This might be a lock the chatterbait in hand and go. I did not get a hook in him worth anything. There's a little log, piece of stick here and a log that comes out. Look at their stuff jumping. Clouds, and it's kind of drizzling, raining here, so good sign we got fish moving and eating. Now if we can capitalize and keep them hooked. Here's one. Stay down. All right, another one. Buy some wood. Find wood and throw this guy by it. I'm glad I got this one, which runs, like I said, shallower. Well, £1.25 there. Run shallower because I will say that chatterbaits are definitely one of the baits that I tend to lose the most around wood. So Going with either like that cross-eyes chatterbait that's weedless, or something like this that tends to run a little shallower for you. We usually keep you out of it because you're not trying to fight depth as much. You're just, even if you kind of slow it down, it still tends to run a little higher. Moved over a little bit. This spot's sketchy because there's poison ivy all around me. All that right there, poison ivy. So there's a good chance I'm getting that tonight. If you think you've got poison ivy on you, make sure you shower as quick as you can. Use Dawn dish soap because it's like an oily residue, I guess you'd say. Yeah, you want to get that off you. It's not fun. There's one. No, that's a log. Come on, come off there. Oh no. Maybe we should try a different color. Yeah, that's a good idea. Let's try a different color. Haha, got another one. I actually like this one. This one has some more chartreuse on it. Still going with that Hog Farmer Spunk Shad / Missile Baits collab deal. I forget what color this is. The Bee Height Delight kind of color. Green pumpkins, got some pearl, little chartreuse. Rigged that a little wonky. That's all right. They'll still eat it. I'm gonna try something here. I had an Evo in my backpack with a freeloader on it. Let's see if that makes any difference. I fished that Copperhead over here for quite some time with no other bites after I lost that first kind of whitish color one. Maybe it's a color thing. There's one. Well, I don't know if it was the bait or the color, but it was around wood still. It's another fish on the Evo. Finally, after a lull there for I don't know how long of catching nothing, switched over to this white Evo. I don't know if it's a color thing. This one definitely doesn't feel as like loud or vibrating. This is more of a subtle vibration. I almost tied on a spinnerbait and thought, oh, well, so much for that Evo. Like I said, how many was that? 5 or 6 casts? Okay, cool. Oh, there's a bite. Didn't even see it. I was looking down at the stick. I was hitting the stick there. All right, one on the old Topwater. Kind of gill hooked you there, feller. Sorry. Must have hit at the side of it. Okay, there we go. First one on Topwater. Maybe we'll find some more of those as the sun's going down here behind a whole bunch of clouds. There's a good one. Man, he hit it with intent. All right, well, switched to the white spinnerbait. Started getting bites again. I just missed one right here close to me. See, look how they're swiping at it. He's hooked through the outside. Come up, swipe to the side. Another chunky little 1.25 pounds. Some good fish, not horrible size, not over skinny or anything, but all about the same size. White spinnerbait. So that is, I was using the Copperhead. Wanted a white spinnerbait. Figured why not? Let's try that little first gen spinner. One on that. I'm sorry, but I think color matters. That white, they wanted that whiter, more bait fish color. I know there's crappie in here and wiper hybrid bass. I think they wanted that white color. That white bait fish shad look. There could even be shad in here. I don't know for sure. There we go. First monster of the day. Oh, and he came off. That's right, hands are on him. He counts. There we go. First one of the day on the little Copperhead. He's a monster, I tell you. A monster. There we go. Second one of the day, man. We are catching the toads out here today. Well, Copperhead finding a couple for me.
All right, fishing friends, well, it was an interesting day of fishing because really I wanted to put this thing to the test. This Copperhead, again, with those two BBs there. As this blade goes back and forth, it ticks off those. And it made a great vibration, good sound. I think I jinxed myself when I said, yeah, this one tends to ride up a little bit. And I was bending this blade piece, if you can see that. Bending it back just a little bit more to make it run more straight. I noticed it wanted to climb a little bit. So I bend that back just a little bit. And the nice thing about it is when you would speed it up, it would kind of come up over things. And I think I jinxed myself because I ended up losing this. I ended up losing an Evo. You know, what do you do? But it really got me thinking on that trip because I was getting bites. A lot of them were just coming up and swiping at it. Even that was the air compressor to my airbrush. I forgot to shut it off. But anyway, that night of fishing really got me thinking about stuff because I lost my first Copperhead. I lost an Evo. Put the spinnerbait on and fish were still coming up and just swiping at it. You could see how fast those fish were coming after it, out at the end, you know, toward the shore, toward some of those logs, just coming out and grabbing at it. Even had some hooked out the mouth where they were grabbing it, you know, in weird directions, not coming up from behind it and really eating the bait. And people say, oh, that's easy, you need to make a change. Okay, well, is that, do you make a color change? Do you make a size change? Does it, you know, do I need some sort of sound change? Was this too much? Did I need something like this, the little stealth blade? You know, there's so many different variables. For me as an angler, it's hard. And I know, you know, the pros out there that can do this on the fly and make those changes and adjustments, they're the ones that are going to win. Those are the guys that continue to catch fish wherever they're at. That's why I like MLF, because it's cool. These guys going to places they don't know anything about, you know, they're not practicing. They kind of have to do it on the go, right? And I have a lot of respect for pro anglers that can do that, because I was kind of spun out a little bit like, okay, what do I change? Well, I'm just going to keep going with this. And I was really expecting to get bites and they weren't coming. So it can be really frustrating, but it really, you know, kind of got me thinking. I think it was a color thing. I think if I would have had some more all white or bright white type lures, it would have made the difference. I know there's a lot of crappie in there, hybrids, you know, even young bass or bluegill will have that white to them. So maybe it was just a contrast thing. Maybe, you know, it was forage, it was matching forage better, but I wish I would have had some all white ones. And again, I'll link all the gear and stuff that I use down below, colors of this, but it's a neat bait. It ran pretty consistent. I think there was only a couple times I had to pop it to get it to go. And that's the case with any of these bladed jigs that connect to the head with a split ring. I still haven't found a perfect one. Even some of the cheaper chatterbaits will do that. And I think that's why so many people like, you know, the Evo for me has been really consistent. The jackhammer, that's a big thing you hear with people, is as soon as you cast it out and start to retrieve it, it's going, right? You don't have to give it a jerk or a pop of the rod to make that blade vibrate. So that's something to keep in mind if you're looking at different vibrating jigs. The other thing was the sound of this. It's got a little bit different, you know, sled type head, and I noticed it come up and over stuff pretty well. Where I got snagged, there's just a whole bunch of trees and stuff out there, so I probably got caught in the crotch of it, ended up burying the hook. Nothing you can do there. It doesn't, you know, doesn't matter how good it is through brush. Maybe the cross size, the Z-Man cross size, that weedless one with the 2 wires, probably one of the best weedless chatterbaits out there. But this one really fits for shallow fishing, dirtier water. It's got a lot of sound to it. Tends to ride a little bit higher in the water column. Great if you're fishing those conditions. You know, will this replace every chatterbait on the market? Absolutely not. There's kind of a time and place for different ones. You know, a clear bladed, which I still like, the stealth blade. Some people say it's dumb. There's a time and place for this versus a jackhammer versus this thing. So it's interesting playing with lures. That's kind of my roundabout way of saying I like experimenting, and I'm not perfect. You know, I'm just a guy who likes to fish. I'm very average at fishing, but if I know it, I will try to share it with you all to help you out. Now, the combo one I've been testing, and one that I've been pleasantly surprised with, I know that's upside down, sorry, it is the Ugly Stick Carbon, and I think these are $79. I got this one on sale, so I think like $55. I'm really impressed with it. I like it for moving baits. This would be a great topwater rod if you had the lighter one. I've got the 7-foot medium heavy fast, rated for lures 1/4 up to 3/4 ounce. And this has felt really good for my single hook moving baits, chatterbaits, spinnerbaits, swim jig, anything like that where I need just a little bit stouter rod to set that hook. The rod has actually felt really good, extremely comfortable in hand. Y'all know I like to, you know, hold my finger here, especially with Texas rigs. Sometimes I'm moving baits, but I don't. But like this, the trigger and everything, I like how it's like dually molded here. Come on, camera, focus. There we go. How it's dually like molded. You've got the piece here and back and in front. So with your hand like that, your pinky behind it, it actually fits really good in hand. I've been testing the Abu Garcia Max Pro. This is the I want to say like 90 bucks. I'm gonna have to do a whole breakdown of the Abu reels and stuff, because some of them I really like, some of them are and some of them, like, the price ranges in there just don't make sense to me, like too many models at certain prices. But anyway, yeah, I really liked it. This combo has felt really good, more of a budget option, and I think it's been great. This is 15 pound. I need to put more line on. I want to say this is the Sunline Super Fluorocarbon. I don't know. Again, I'll link everything down below, but the combo has felt great. It's got a good bend to it. It's more of a soft, fast rod. You can't see that. More of a soft, fast rod. So I don't know that this would be great for jigs, Texas rigs, that kind of stuff. I don't know how amazing the sensitivity would be there. You know, anything where I say where you want to be really sensitive, finesse stuff, Texas rig, jigs, where you're trying to get a light bite, I'm not afraid to spend a little bit more money. But something like this, Topwater, a lot of your reaction strike type stuff, you can get a good hook into them even with a less expensive rod. So that is that. But anyway, comment below and let me know your thoughts on changing color, changing lure type, or, you know, making small changes. Is it a sound of the lure? I even get confused. I just had a day, 2 days ago, I went out fishing and got skunked. It was a place that is flooded, probably 8 feet higher than it normally is. Super muddy, dirty water. Water was like 84 degrees. I was spun out. I didn't catch a single fish. I think I maybe had one bite, and that was it. So I'm human like you all. So, you know, if you all are struggling now, you're not alone. YouTubers, professionals alike, doesn't matter. Everybody struggles. So the only thing you can do is keep going, because you can't catch more fish unless you go. So that's enough for me today. Subscribe, fishing friend. Has to be my guy, RG Deo. Comment on the video I was throwing that Hellraiser, said, glad I'm not the only one throwing my lake into the trees when working areas like that. Yeah, man, listen, if you're not snagging, you're not fishing, you're not trying. You got to get to where the fish are if you're fishing safe. I did it too long when I was young. You're going to miss bites, trust me. So that's enough for me. I got to get out of here and edit. Thank y'all. Love you. Until next time.